What is going on, guys? It is the Poke King, and I didn't want to do this deck profile. I play tested a couple of games with the boys and tried out MIRAIDON against Charizard, against other decks, and let's just say the Charizard matchup was extremely hard. So we're going to take a look today at MIRAIDON, and it did lose. RIP to Flaffy. It did lose Flaffy, which helped to accelerate energies from the deck. So this is my list of MIRAIDON. We got a new little setup. Hopefully it looks decent. First time trying it. But let's get into the deck profile. I don't want it to be too long. We are playing 2 MIRAIDON EX. Tandem unit. Awesome ability. Search your deck for 2 lightning Pokemon. And you put them onto your bench. And then you shuffle the deck. So you guys know what MIRAIDON does. Awesome card. I'm only playing 2 just because we have a lot of search effects with the Nest Balls and 1 Ultra Ball. So didn't want to play too much. Next, we have 2 Raichu. He's one of the main attackers. He's someone that you don't mind opening up in the opening position because of the fast charge attack. The decks are slower in the format right now, so you do have some time. And this is how you pretty much handled Big Daddy Zard. Being able to use Dynamic Spark and discard any amount of lightning energies from your Pokemon, and then does 60 damage for each. Raichu V, Dynamic Spark, really good. We then play an Iron Hands EX. So we do play 2 double turbos, which I know for some decks is a lot. But just once again, you don't have that energy excel. So you pretty much just need to be able to hit on your Ampu very much. Being able to do 100, or if you do get the 4 energies of just lightning, being able to do the 120 is really good. And Arm Press is really good against Lugia. So of course, if everyone starts to play Lugia, this is when MIRAIDON can come in and pretty much do some nice things against Lugia with the weakness. We do play the 1 of Raikou. Like Raikou, of course, Fleet Footage really good. It is a 2 energy high output attacker. So for 2 energies, it can do a max of 220. With the Zapdos, 230. So we're knocking out Chien-Paos and other Iron Hands, which is extremely good. And it just knocks out Chien-Pao regardless. Chien-Pao, I believe, is 220. Trying to remember in the top of my head. Roaring Moon as well knocks that out. We do play the 1 Mew EX. Now, with the way this deck works with the research and going through the deck faster, I do feel that you don't use Mew EX as much, but it's either Mew EX or you play like a Radiant Greninja. But the issue with that is that Mew is a good transition Pokemon. Of course, when a Pokemon gets knocked out, Electric Generator only works to the bench Pokemon. So being able to put Mew to the active, not having to have like a rescue board attached or a wasted energy retreat is really good. So that's why you still have to play the Mew EX. And then, of course, Geno Hacking. It's just a good card with the DTEs. 1 Squawk. Once again, I feel like in this deck, you're not aggressively, you're setting up your bench, but not kind of the way what the Flaffy Mareep line was, where, you need to get that turn 1. Because of here, you mainly just want to get out kind of your first attacker, second attacker lined up, and then just some support Pokemon. And then every time you try to go for the next attack, you can then drop a Pokemon. So 1 Squawk for the Squawking Seas. We're playing 1 Zapdos from Pokemon Go. Of course, all your lightning Pokemon do an additional 10 more damage to the active Pokemon. So once again, Zapdos really good. And I'm trying out this card, Iron Hands. The first attack, you're not really doing too much with it. With the Zapdos, you can knock out Manaphy's, stuff like that. You're not even knocking out Greninjas. But it's for the second attack. It does 160 if it's a Pokemon EX or V. So you are knocking out, you're knocking out Lugia Vs and V Stars. But what's awesome with that ability, and Palkias as well, if you face any Palkia deck, the nice part about this is that it is a single prizer. So for 3 energy, it pretty much does what the regular Iron Hands EX does and only gives up 1 prize. So you can throw the math off there. It's just a little bit of a better attacker than Zapdos. So that is the Pokemon lineup. And once again, you can switch out the Iron Hands for also the Zeraora. That's also a really good card. Next up, for Arven. Arven, really good, of course. Get your generators, and this is a heavy tool deck, so get your tools as well. We play 3 research, really good. Just being able to just speed through the deck as fast as possible. When you get hands where you draw maybe 2 energies, you can attach 1 and then discard the other. Really good. We are playing the 1 boss. Now, this is going to get tweaked. Once again, the deck, this is just the 1.0 version, so I'm still tweaking this. Still figuring out kind of like what I want to play. whether it be a second boss, a counter catch, or something like that. But we are just playing the one boss's order. Now for items, for generator, you have to play 4, of course. Best card in the deck, what makes the deck work. I'm also going to be trying out that Regieleki VMAX deck, which gives you the free retreater, so you don't have to play Mew, stuff like that. But electric generator, really, really good. For nest ball, because pretty much you're just going to nest ball for Miraidon, and Miraidon searches everything else out. And it's also a great way to thin out the deck. 2 switch cards, helps you not lose to anything like the Snorlax deck. Allows you to push through that. Of course, if you're playing against Snorlax, you're only going to drop maybe 1 or 2 bench Pokemon, a Miraidon, and something else. And you're not going to go, you're not going to try and go too aggressive there. We are playing 2 Pokemon catchers. Now, some decks did play 3, 4 because they had the Peony build. We're just playing 2 catchers for this right now. And I just realized that I did put in an extra card, which was the 3rd EXP share, but I'll show you what to replace it for. I do have the card. I just forgot that you could play an A spec. So it's one of those where we learn as we go, and you guys will let me know in the comment section. We do play the 1 Ultra Ball. Probably can cut the Ultra Ball, honestly, probably not needed. Just thins out the deck, I guess, for the Geno Hacking as well. But I'm thinking the Ultra Ball would most likely get cut for the A spec, and we're playing a Prime Catcher. You could play Maximum Belt to help deal out more damage to, I guess, maybe make that Iron Hands hit for 210, but I don't think it's as needed, honestly. Actually, it's hitting for 220, so it can't, knock out some of the EXs in the format. But I think the Ultra Ball cutting out for a Prime Catcher just gives you a better stall matchup as well, and allows you to be a little more aggressive, so you don't have to play the second boss. For tools, we play the 3 EXP shears, which is awesome. 1 Forest Seal Stone, 1 Bravery Charm, and 1 Rescue Board. Pretty much explanatory with the Forest Seal Stone. The 3 XP shears, kind of like your Flaffies-esque, to where a Pokemon does get knocked out. It will then take an energy from the active Pokemon. So if Miraidon gets knocked out and you have 3 XP shears, those energies don't get wasted. Then Raichu can clap back with a second Raichu waiting. The Bravery Charm can make it hard for any of the Lost Zone decks to deal with Iron Hands EX after you take the 2 prize knockout. And the Rescue Board's really good for the opening of like Raichu, stuff like that. Or if they try to boss around like your Zapdos, you only need 1 energy then. We play a 2 town store since you're playing a bunch of item cards. And then a ton of energy. We have 2 DTE. Needed Mew, Iron Hands. And I believe it's 18 lightning energy. It's a lot. You really want to, because missing out on Flaffy, actually I think this is more. Yeah, I think it's 18. 18 lightning energies. Because missing out on Flaffy, obviously there's a lot of space in the deck. So what you're doing there basically is you really need to hit your generators. You really need those double generators. You can't afford. I feel like in this deck now, if you whiff on a generator, pretty much losing the game, depending on the outcome, but most likely losing the game. So you at least need to make sure you're guaranteeing at least 1 energy for the generators. But overall, that is the Miraidon deck. Like I said, this deck went from being arguably maybe a tier 1 deck last format before post rotation to now it's barely, I would say it's just a tier 3 deck. It's not in the tier 2 with like the, arguably some of the other decks like Chimpao, Lost Tina. This has fallen into that, that tier 3 range, which it's sad. It's sad to see that this deck happens, but that happens naturally, and then we'll wait out for more support to come and help on Miraidon. But let me know in the comment section down below what are some tweaks that I should make to the deck. We should have 2.0 coming out next month as we play a little bit more, and I'll also make sure to have the Spice Regieleki VMAX or Regieleki V with Klefki. I think that can also be a deck that can also get utilized. Put in the comment section down below what you guys thought. Once again, tweaks, like, comment, subscribe, become part of the Poke Kingdom. It's been the King. Peace.